Hello and welcome back to All for United. This is the just another United transfer show. This is going to be your one-stop shop for the lowdown on all the major transfer stories around Manchester United. We're going to be gathering opinions from journalists and from the people of the All for United family. Today, I'm joined by three guys from All for United. We've got Joey Tabor, we've got Neil, and we've got Flawless. Good to see you guys.
Afternoon.
Yeah, man. Good to be on. Yeah, man.
During these shows, we want to hear from you guys. You guys watching too. So as always, drop us a like on the video, subscribe, and get your comments in. Check us out on Twitter and the other social media platforms we're involved in. And there'll be the description for those links. The links for that will be in the description to this video. So let's get cracking, guys. First of all, let's talk about the fact that this week we heard about the transfer windows going to be opening on the 27th of June and closing on the 5th of October. That's the plan at the moment. I'm going to come to you first, Neil. How desperate are we for this transfer window at United?
I keep changing my mind on this. I think we need to do something with the goalkeeper, whether that's a transfer or bring back Henderson. I'm a massive fan of De Gea, but I've changed my mind since Sunday after watching the game back. I wouldn't want to lose Henderson. I think that's the issue there. Defence, or Alex always built great defences. So I think we need to start from the back and work our way forwards. I've got opinions about some of the strikers and midfielders we're linked with, but at the moment I'd be more interested in sorting out the defence at the moment, and we need a centre half. I think that's plainly obvious. As much as Bailly, I always liked him. I like the look of him. I thought his pace, but he's just getting injured too much, and I think they've got to let him go along with Smalling and Jones. Can't believe Jones is still there, but that's another talk for another day, I think. But I think we need one, maybe two centre halves. I'm not such a big believer in one's got to be left-footed, one's got to be right-footed. Our best two pairings ever were neither of that. Vidic and Ferdinand could play with either feet, and that's what they can do. I think Maguire's good enough to play on the left. To be honest, we just need a pacey centre half to play alongside him because he lacks pace when he's turned round. But that's my initial thoughts on the defence. I'll let others speak now.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. So from, to answer the question, I think, from what you're saying there, I think we're quite desperate for this transfer window to open. I think all of a sudden the last couple of weeks, we're discovering now that the squad needs quite a lot of surgery. Now, Joey, the transfer window, I think is going to be a little bit shorter this season, actually, with the way it's worked out. I think it's about a week or 2 weeks shorter than what it would normally be. How do you think that'll impact the way that United move in this window? And will it be a problem that it's a shorter window?
Well, I mean, if anything, the last 7 years under Ed Woodward with transfer window has been nothing short of kind of a disaster. He kind of takes his time with deals, doesn't really have any urgency. So I think a week or two isn't too bad. I would be, more worried if it was a bit longer. But this is an important summer for United. We keep saying that every season, that this is going to be the most important summer transfer window. And you look at the team, where they're at, how they finish. They finish in the Champions League spot. You really want to kick on from that and go sign a few players and really challenge for the title. This isn't, a club that should be content with finishing in the top four. This is an Arsenal. This is a team that needs to be challenging for the top trophies in the league. You're talking about we're going to be going on almost 8 years of not winning the league and not even challenging for the league, really. So it is important to get the business done. Once that final game happens next Sunday and you realize, we're in top four, they need to go out and sign, their transfer targets. Obviously, we all know Jadon Sancho is one of them. We all know they've been linked with Grealish. But it's important to get these deals done and done early to get these players in so that if there is a preseason, which I'm sure there will be, that they can get adjusted to the team, to the teammate, the surroundings. It's a big step up, for a Grealish or even a Sancho. Dortmund's a fantastic club, but they're nowhere near the size of Man United. So it's important to get these deals done quick and get these players in and kick on for next year and challenge for 21.
I think you're spot on, mate. I think, like you say, it's an interesting point that you make that, Ed Woodward's allowed, deals to drag on, and I'm going to come to you with that. Come to you on that one, Floors. I mean, we've obviously been linked with some massive transfers this summer, and obviously the bigger the transfer, naturally the harder these things usually are to get done. How important is it that we get our main targets nailed down early? I mean, you know, the transfers window's not even open yet, and you look at teams like Chelsea's already done business, and one or two other teams have done some business as well. How important is it we get the big ones done early so we can look at other areas of the squad that we might not have thought we needed to improve before lockdown, but actually the squad's proving to need a lot more surgery, like we said.
Yeah, it's absolutely vital that we get our targets down early and approach those clubs and have plan A's and plan B's and plan C's. As we've seen from Chelsea, this can be done. So I don't like the excuse that it can't be done, and the amount of time that Woodward takes to do deals. We need to address where we need to improve in the first 11, and address where we need to improve in the squad. Personally, I think we need, in terms of the first team, a left back, a centre back, a holding midfielder, and a right-sided player. So United need to be looking at these places. Yes, we've been linked with Sancho. I'm very happy about the Sancho deal, like extremely happy that we've been linked with him. But go and do the deal. We've seen how Chelsea have went and got Werner. They've went and got Ziyech. So it's like they're going to go again. That's the thing, is all the teams around us are going to go again. So United need to do the same. Chelsea, as we've seen, are going to go again. I think City, now they haven't been banned, are going to throw a lot of money. They're going to throw a massive war chest. I think so, yeah. You've got City, you've got Chelsea. I think Arsenal could possibly go again. Wolves will try and improve. I think Spurs will go again. Like Liverpool will possibly improve as well, and they're already ahead of us. So it's vitally important that we do our business now. So I hope that Manchester United are in talks with the likes of Sancho. We are in talks with a centre-back, because like the other two guests have also said, we need a centre-back. And to me, we need a left-back as well. And also this goalkeeping situation needs to be addressed straight away, because we don't have a long, close season. So it's like it needs to be addressed. Is De Gea staying? Is he going? Is Dean Henderson coming in as the number one, or is he going back to Sheffield United?
And while I've got you there, Flo, just to sort of, again, add on something you say there, obviously it's vital we don't get it done. Why at Man United? And you know, Joey said before, and I think we all agree that we take so long to get deals done. Why is that? What is it? Are we having trouble? Is it the people at the top of the club cannot negotiate properly, or are players starting to become sceptical about coming to United, do you think?
I don't think players...
Why it's taking longer?
Yeah, I don't think players are skeptical, because United's name will always be United's name, so we can draw players in. People forget Maguire rejected City to come to Manchester United, when you could argue they're a better club on the pitch at the time. I managed to get Wan-Bissaka. Even going back, we managed to get the likes of Paul Pogba and Zlatan Ibrahimovic without Champions League football. So United is still a draw. We're still arguably the biggest club in the world, and definitely the biggest club in the country. So I don't think players are skeptical. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the hierarchy. The people at the top of the club don't know what they're doing. Like, why does it take us so long to get deals done? Even Wan-Bissaka, it took us so long to get the Wan-Bissaka deal done. Same with Harry Maguire. Supposedly, Leicester wanted 80 million, and we negotiated and then ended up paying 80 million for him. So what exactly were you negotiating if you didn't get anything knocked off whatsoever? So and Chelsea have shown, like the Werner deal, that came out of the blue. Nobody knew that was happening. Next thing you know, yeah, Chelsea have signed Werner. Chelsea have signed Ziyech. Like, that's how a club with proper ambition and the proper people in places of position do business. So we need to follow suit and do that, because I actually don't think Manchester United are that far away. And I don't think our squad is as bad as people make out.
I totally agree with you, Flawless. I think, you know, Chelsea have been absolutely ruthless, and fair play to them. Anyway, like I said at the top of the show, guys, this is all going to be about talking about some of the individual transfer stories that are going on right now that are topical around United. And I mean, we've already touched on it a little bit, but I don't think there's a better place to start than the whole Jadon Sancho transfer. It looks like being United's marquee signing this season if it happens. It's been suggested by a variety of sources, you know, that the Jude Bellingham transfer that Dortmund completed yesterday, as well as the Erling Haaland transfer that they did in January, they may have some connection in the process that's helping, you know, United get Sancho over the line. So what do we think, guys? Do we think that United have stepped aside in those deals to try and improve relations with Dortmund and to try and soften the blow. Do we think there's anything in that, Neil?
No, I don't believe it at all. I mean, as you can tell from my accent, I'm actually from Birmingham. Got a lot of friends in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Who were Birmingham City fans, and I think we missed a trick with Bellingham. I know we're overloaded with midfield players of the same type, of the same ilk. I think a good deal with Bellingham would have been to buy him and loan him back to Birmingham for a year, because he's just 17, and I think I can't see how his agents have spoken to Sancho's agents, and then, because that would have got out. I mean, we're Man United. We get linked with, it's ridiculous the amount of players we get linked with, and obviously that's why I quite enjoy a show like this. And it's always been the way. I think we missed the trick with Bellingham, and I think I'd probably have gone with Bellingham. I've got my issues about Sancho, which I guess we'll come to. I'm not sure whether I think the money's ridiculous. Absolutely crazy for someone who's 20 and Bellingham was 17. And even if they're looking at 30, 35 million, why didn't they go in for him? I'm not sure Sancho is the right answer for us anyway. I've got issues with him. I think Greenwood's a better player. And that would be my issue. Does it stunt Greenwood's growth? Does the signing of Sancho, sorry. It's all right, I've got the Man City Sanchez thing. I won't be able to sleep tonight for laughing.
I think he's thinking City, not Manchester City, like you suggested in off air, Neil. So don't worry too much, mate.
No, it's all right. I'm not sure Sancho is the answer for the team in some respects. Okay. I think another centre forward is what we need.
Brilliant. I'll come on to you then, Joey, on that point. I mean, two things we touched on there. Do we think that Sancho is overpriced for this summer, for this season, for what we need? And do you feel he is the player that we need right now? But when I say that, have you got concerns about stunting the growth of Mason Greenwood on the right?
So listen, you're worth whatever someone wants to pay for you at the end of the day, in my opinion. Is it stupid money? Of course it's stupid money. 80 million, I think the fee will be. But I'm going to disagree with my colleague over there. And I think Jadon Sancho is exactly what United need. I think they need a right-sided player who can create goals, score goals, can do it on his own, has a bit of, bravery in his play. He's not worried about losing the ball. He's got that. He just feels like a Man United player to me. As far as stunting Greenwood's growth, look, there's Greenwood can play in any of those three positions, left wing, striker, right wing. And I think that over the course of the season, look, because of the restart, Rashford wouldn't even have finished the season. Martial spent time out. And during a long campaign, and especially if you're talking about, we're going to be in some European competition, whether it's Europa League or Champions League, there's going to be plenty of games to go around next season. So for me, I think Jadon Sancho would bring, he would add 15 to 20 more goals, 10, 15, 20 assists. He just feels like he has that it factor to me, that superstar feel. And granted, United have gone down that road of signing like superstars with, Falcao, Di Maria, if they work out. I think with Sancho, it's a bit different. I think, Sancho knows Rashford and some of the boys from the national team. And I just feel like for me, it's a no-brainer. And I just think that it has to get done. And I think Sancho's the type of player that can push you into a title race, given other signings. But I mean, look at that front five now you're talking about. And now you have depth behind it. If you go out and sign Sancho, you have, Greenwood can come off the bench, or Rashford can get a break and come off the bench. I just think the more attacking options, the better. You look at City, City weren't thinking, oh, we already have Bernardo Silva, or we already have whoever, let's not sign Riyad Mahrez. They just go out and sign players, and it works for them. They won, a couple league titles like that.
Yeah, and interesting there, see you guys different views, and that's what this show's all about. And again, just want to remind everyone out there, get your comments into the show. Get involved on our social media platforms. We want to hear from everyone. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. We want to hear from you all. I just want to move this story on a little bit and come to you, Floors. Just away from whether we feel like Sancho deal is what we want or what we don't want. Can we start to assume that it might be moving closer? I mean, I've started to notice that a lot more reputable journalists, especially in the UK, are starting to talk about this transfer more now. And I think that that's usually a sign that, there has been some more movement recently. I think, journalists are very skeptical in the UK, especially about talking about transfers because they get a lot of stick if the transfers don't happen. But I've noticed people like Simon Stone, even Sky Sports getting a bit more involved. What's your thoughts? Do you think they're starting to get some movement on this now? Is there a turning point?
Yeah, there's no smoke without fire. And this has been one of them that has been long running. Maybe one of you three on here can tell me a more long running saga than this United Sancho deal has been going on for months and months and months and months. So it's like it gets to the point where it's like, all right, it must be coming from somewhere. And he is perfect to me. He is perfect for what we need. United need a right-sided player. We need a right winger. And I think Sancho fits the bill. You don't have to worry about him coming in and not settling because he's English. So you have no issue with that. He played in well, and he's done very well at Dortmund. So he's used to playing over here, even if it's not the Premier League. So you don't have to worry about the pace of the game. Like Joey stated as well, he knows Rashford, he knows Lingard, and the number 7 shirt as well. Like, it seems like the perfect fit for him. And my thing is with the price, people only remember prices of players when the player does badly. That's why you never hear anybody now mention Bruno Fernandes's price tag. I guarantee if Bruno had came in and done badly, everybody would be speaking about his price tag. Similar to Wan-Bissaka, nobody mentions his price tag. But then you look at, say, a Maguire. That's why you see the 80 million get brought up, because there's times where he makes mistakes. He may not have done as well as he should have. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of Sancho. I hope the deal gets done. And in terms of the Greenwood thing as well, I think people forget that Greenwood, even though he can play all 3 positions, he is actually a centre forward. So he could be back up to Martial. And United, you got 38 games in the Premier League season, plus domestic cups, plus European competition. United are playing 50 plus games. So there'll be more than enough games for Greenwood to play, because Greenwood's only 18. Same way Sancho's only 20. And you want options. This is what's like. Sancho, not only does he improve Manchester United's first 11, he also improves the squad, because then either Greenwood, Martial, or Rashford drop to the bench. And then you start to have strength in depth. I'm sold on Sancho. If it doesn't happen, like, I might shed an actual tear, because I've already been sold on this. Like, I'm sold on this. Like, to me, he's already here. Like, I'm just waiting for it to happen. Yeah, in my head, it's done. In my head, the deal's done. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Okay. Well, we'll get the Kleenex in for you, Flawless, just in case.
you do know Woodward's the chief executive, don't you? By the way,
that is true. I do. And
you think the deal's done.
Wow. No.
I wish I had your I have no confidence in any of these deals will get done because of Woodward. I've got to be honest. Sancho might be. God, I've said it again. Sancho might be the answer. I mean, he genuinely might be the answer, but I'm not 100% certain yet. I've watched him. I've watched him a lot. I know he's played with the England squad, but sometimes I look at players, whoever we're linked with, and I've been doing this for decades. Does the Man United shirt look right on them? When we signed Fellaini, and you saw Fellaini in a Man United shirt, did you look at Fellaini and think, "Wow, he looks the part"? That's there you go.
I get what you're saying. With Fellaini,
that's what the issue is, and I'm probably a bit. Well, I'm a lot older than you two. Luckily for you two, and I'm probably a bit more of a stick in the mud in that sense. But I just need to be slightly convinced that a 20-year-old is well. I know it's not our money, and I don't care how much they cost, to be honest. Yeah. But a 20-year-old worth every single day it's an extra 5 million. This 5 million that. 120 million. It's a big commitment. And what wages? 250 grand a week for a 20-year-old. Yeah. I'm still to be convinced he's better than Greenwood.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think. Sorry to cut you off, Joe. I don't think there's many. Yeah, I don't think there's many 20-year-olds better than Greenwood. Like, I think Greenwood's a phenomenal. I think he's a generational talent.
He's world class. Yeah. He's world class.
Yes, like. To see, I can't remember the last 18-year-old I see that was just 2-footed. This guy literally has the full package.
I'll tell you everything
in his locker. Go on, you'll be able to
I'll tell you the last 18-year-old who was 2-footed. He was called Bobby Charlton.
there we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Look how long ago we're talking.
You look through the history books, you don't see 2-footed players. He takes penalties with the 1 foot, and who knows? I mean, his goal against Villa, well, the way he struck that goal, I think he's world class. At 18, I think he's that good. He could take Sancho's place in the England squad.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what you want.
can I just cut you off, guys? We could talk all day about Jadon Sancho and Mace Green. I am so excited about that potential deal happening. I don't know how far away it is, how close it is, but I know I'm like you guys, well, maybe exceptionally, I'm desperate to see him in a Man United shirt. Now, for every exciting player that United get linked with, and we get linked with thousands in a transfer window, there is always a couple of suspect ones. Now, quickly, just a one-word answer. Neil Burton, the most ridiculous player we've ever been linked with in your memory?
Ever?
Yeah.
Fellaini.
Fair enough. Joey, what about you? Can you remember a name that you just thought absolutely no chance?
Messi.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. What about you, Paul? Have you got a name that you can remember that has been linked with? Thinking, nah, not for me, not at all.
Josh King.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Anyway, this week, and it's been reported from a few sources, there is apparent interest in out of contract Burnley midfielder Jeff Hendrick. Now, this is a story that's running. When I've done a little bit of research on this, I've also found out that he's been linked with AC Milan and Inter Milan. Now, first of all, I'll come to you, Joey. Do you think there's any truth in us doing a deal for someone like Jeff Hendrick at United? And where, if there is no truth in it, where does it come from?
I think that's an agent going, United, player needs to move to a new club. United are interested, and that speeds the process along. No, I don't even know much about him. I just don't think it makes sense. So I don't have much to say because I don't know much about him. Yeah. But I just can't say. Like I said, I think it's just agent using United, and I mean, good for them. I mean, an agent's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he's getting his player a better situation, I guess.
Yeah, I remember when a couple of years ago, United were linked with someone called Hal Robson-Kanu, who plays for West Brom, and for me, that's the most ridiculous transfer story I've ever heard. Anyway, but just what's your thoughts on this, Neil? Have you heard anything on this deal? Do you know a little bit more about Jeff Hendrick, maybe?
Yeah, amazingly, and you'll get to. This is amazing. I did a bit of research this morning, and I saw the Hendrick thing, and I had to press refresh because I didn't know how old my computer was. But I just thought, you've got to be kidding me. The agent's linked us. The agent's link. He's trying to get the price up for Hendrick because the AC Milan deal looked like it's gone south. Yeah, and he refused to play for Burnley, didn't he? Because he's out of contract at the end in June. I mean, he can go to Inter Milan because that just looks like a residential home. The age of the players that they seem to be signing. So he might be suited to the pace of Italian football. I don't know, but not in a million years he's a United player. There might be a United out there that would sign him, but not Manchester United. I can't believe that. That's fantastic.
No, I'm with you on that, Neil. Coming across to you, Flawless. Jeff Hendrick's not the only one. I think someone like Jeffrey Kondogbia, I think his name's being mentioned as well, the Valencia midfielder, because apparently he's available for 20 million this year. Maybe United are looking at strengthening that midfield. Do you think they're trying to do it on a cut price? Do you think that we just need someone of that ilk, or do we actually want to be looking at signing another, stellar name in that midfield area?
Yeah, let's just go and sign quality. It wouldn't surprise me if United did try and do a cut deal. And we are literally linked FC because we get linked with everyone. Because them two names you just mentioned, I never heard of them, heard of United being linked with them. But it's no surprise when you're telling me these names. You could have been making them up. And I'm like, it's probably believable because we are literally linked FC. We get linked with everybody. But in terms of the midfield, it's like, just go and sign the quality. I'm not really fussed if it's a stellar name like Sancho or it's somebody else. Just go and get somebody to fit the profile of what you need. I think our midfield I think Pogba and Bruno are incredible, two quality midfield players. So to balance that, go and get a defensive midfielder who is of a certain quality. I'm a big fan of Thomas Partey, and I seen him play when Atletico Madrid played Liverpool in the Champions League final, the second leg. He stood out at Anfield. And that's a place that's, as much as I hate giving credit to Liverpool, he stood out there because Anfield's a tough place to go, especially on a European night. He's at the right age. He's got a minimum fee release clause, I believe, of 40 million or so. He fits the bill as a holding midfielder, strong, quick, good on the ball, can tackle. Just go and sign him or go get an Ndidi or something like that. So yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me if United did go and try and sign one of the two guys that you named, because I have no faith in like Ed Woodward or the hierarchy of doing their job expeditiously.
Can I just drop a name? Can I just drop a name in?
Yeah, of course you can, mate. Yeah, carry on.
Fact that, and I'm quite chuffed with this to be linked with them. Is Sarr from Watford?
Yeah.
I think that could be a really cute signing. That could, because he looks a right player. I mean, he destroyed Liverpool, which was one of the best days of the season for me.
Oh yeah, for Watford. Yeah, sorry.
But Sarr from Watford, he's 22, 23, I think.
23. Okay,
he fits the profile perfect for what Ole, the type of players that Ole seems to be focusing on. And I think he'd be I think he'd be top draw because he'd give balance. He could play anywhere across the front three as well. And he creates, he does something that I like. He carries the ball. You don't see that very often. And he'll take players on, no problem.
You know, just to play devil's advocate here with you guys for a minute. You know, I'm going to get the layout right. You know, Solskjaer has proven though at times. You know, you don't have to necessarily be a big name to excel in this team. I mean, you could argue someone like Odi Nagalo has done brilliant since he's come in at times. You know, he's had to play a vital role for us. Even Dan James, you know, that signing sort of raised a few eyebrows. And I know that his form's obviously tapered off as the season's gone along. But obviously he did quite well, and there is potential there. I mean, Joey, do you think that this is a case of United have got, you know, a list of probably 4 or 5 players for a certain position, and, you know, they might have to sometimes look at the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place on that list, which is, you know, from a personal point of view, I'm sick of us doing that because I feel like we've had to do that a few times with a couple of our signings over last year. But do you think this is what's going on here? And also with the, you know, Ismail Assar, apparently that's only going to happen if Jadon Sancho doesn't happen. You know, we just need to forget about 2nd, 3rd, and just concentrate on our top targets.
Yeah, absolutely. We're Man United. We talk about this all the time. We bang that drum that, you know, we're the biggest club in the world. And with Champions League football, which I think will happen, I mean, I'm being optimistic here, you should be signing your first targets. You know, your Jadon Sanchos, you know, your first midfield target, your first center back target. You know, there's talk about a left back coming in. Yeah, you have to be signing your first because that's who you really want. Because then you feel like when you get to that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, you're like, do I even really want this player? I'd rather just pull somebody from the academy than sign a 3rd or 4th, 5th choice player. And the players that you had mentioned, you know, Kondogbia, you know, if we're going to be signing a player like that, you know, why not, you know, another Watford player, Decore? I'd rather have Decore than Jeffrey Kondogbia.
Yeah,
that's a good shot. That's a good shot.
Especially, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they're going to be going down. There's no problem picking off these teams that are going down, you know, Villa, Bournemouth, and possibly Watford. I wouldn't mind any of those. But, yeah, I obviously first choice. Your second choice has to be right up there with your first. But then anything after that, I think we should be looking to the academy to bring in and fill in the squad.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, we can all agree. I think in that midfield area, you know, the club speak very highly of players like James Garner and, you know, Dylan Levitt and people like that. So there are people on that conveyor belt ready to go. And you would rather United sort of give their own a chance rather than, you know, look at some washed up player. I'm sorry, but if you can't get a contract at Burnley, I mean, it should be nowhere near Manchester United. You know what I mean? So
they've got a cricket club behind the ground, so they might better sign for them.
Well, there we go. Now, yesterday, and I think there was a big shout out from Usman on the breakdown and banter show, and big up to him. He's doing a great job with that show. Should tune into that after a match day. He sort of broke this news that he'd just seen while we were on there that Sanchez, Alexis Sanchez, has been in Manchester City. Now, I really want to sort of break this down because, you know, involved in this story, I think a little bit, is Fabrizio Romano, who, if for those of you who don't know out there, is a very reputable journalist in Italy, knows his stuff. Give him a follow on Twitter. He's usually pretty reliable when it comes to transfers, both in England and Italy and all over Europe, to be fair. I mean, should, as Man United fans, I'll come to you first, Flawless, should we be worried about this? You know, the idea of Alexis Sanchez going to City. I mean, obviously, we know he's not done well with us, and he's not exactly torn it up at Inter. But there are connections at City with Pep Guardiola and his history of working with him. Could we look silly if he goes there and has a couple of good years?
If it does turn out like that, yes, we could look at us and then be like, it's a shame he went there. But number one, I think Sanchez is done at the top level. I think he's finished at the top level. Like you said, he hasn't done well for us. He's at Inter now and hasn't done well. So I don't see him going to City and doing well. And here's the thing, even if he does go to City, to me, he's not getting in that first team. Who is he replacing? Aguero, Jesus, I don't think he's ahead of them down the line as a number 9. You've got Mahrez, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, who can all play out wide. So who out of them is he getting in ahead of? Especially for the money he wants. I don't see Manchester City signing him, but as a Manchester United fan, do I want City to sign Alexis Sanchez? Yeah, it gets him off our books. They can afford to pay him the big money. And I don't believe he would be an asset to Manchester City. So if I was a City fan, I'd be worried about that. All the resources and all the money that Manchester City have in terms of scouting networks, their youth system, etc. And you go to Alexis Sanchez to go and sign him. Like, to me, it doesn't make no sense. I don't understand that. I know that Pep Guardiola wanted him originally before he came to Manchester United, but now it's not like he's been successful. So I don't understand. I don't get it. Maybe one of you three can play devil's advocate and tell me, because I see no positive to that signing whatsoever.
Thank you. Well, Joey, I'm going to come to you. Do you think then that this story is being probably fabricated by, I don't know, even Manchester United to maybe give Inter Milan or other interested clubs the hurry up? Because I'm sure United are so keen to get Sanchez out the door. I'm a little bit like you, Flawless. I think his time is up at United. There's been some people suggesting that, he should maybe come back from his loan and be given another go. But I think what people don't realize about Sanchez is actually away from the field, away from a Saturday, he's actually quite toxic. I think on the training ground, there's been rumours that he's had a bust up with Mason Greenwood. So we don't want people like that. But so I think United are so keen to get this guy out of the club. So coming back to you, Joey, sorry, I sort of went on a tangent there. Do you think that, this is United trying to push Inter now to try and get a deal done and try to drive up some interest? Or do you think this is genuine, like I just asked Flawless?
So over the last few games, he's actually been one of Inter's best players, which is, it's Serie A. Look, Smalling went there and he got in the team of the year. So, I'm not really sold on Serie A. And before I get on about that, watch Jesse Lingard go to Serie A and be one of the top 10 players there. I guarantee it. It'll happen. So with Alexis, I think it might be United kind of trying to use the media here, because if you look at City, you look at that game against Arsenal, they just had, they don't need that type of player. Neil was saying, where does he get in? Or whoever said, might have been Flawless. Where does he get in? You're right, because they have. He's similar to everything they have. They don't need that type of player. They need a striker like an Edin Dzeko, somebody who can play with their back to goal, hold up the ball, win balls in the air. So it doesn't make much sense. And then you look at the wages. The way he's going to want stupid money to go there. I think that this could be a fabrication from Inter or from United to get Inter, because I don't know if you guys have seen, like, Conte's been really putting the pressure on the CEO to get him some signings for next season to challenge. He's complaining about squad depth. And Alexis Sanchez, like I said, he's been one of Inter's best players the last couple of games with, Lautaro Martinez linked to Barcelona. I think it's more to get them to do the deal for Sanchez permanently.
Cheers, Joey. Yeah, no, I'll go with that. Coming to you, Neil. I don't know about you, but when I hear this story, I'm smelling Carlos Tevez. I'm feeling, I'm just, and I know how that sort of went. I dare you. I don't think Tevez was amazing at Manchester City, but the whole thing about the way he left United and ended up joining City, and he did have some success there. I think we can't deny that. But are we in fear of looking a bit silly if we let this happen? Is it a case of United can just be like, whether you feel he's going to do well or not, it's just don't go anywhere near selling a player to Man City who hasn't excelled with us?
I've got a really weird wrinkle on this one, and I've got a feeling that there's is Aguero more injured than we realise, and this is a short-term deal for City just as cover.
Okay.
That's the only logic I can see with this one, because it just seems a crazy deal that they would potentially take him. We know Aguero's had injuries. Does he want to go back to Argentina? Is there something to do with Aguero possibly going, or he might be more injured than we're led to believe? He's been an amazing striker, but maybe that's the only reason I can see they can get him on a short-term deal. But I'm not worried about him going to City at all.
Okay, and for me, I agree with you that would be a logical reason. I mean, I hadn't thought about that, to be fair. So just want to get one more final point for you guys, because we are sort of coming towards the end of the show. Just want to get a feeling for what you feel would be your ideal summer for United this season. Your ideal window, maybe positions, maybe players. Hit me with it, Neil, nice and quickly, please.
Well, we need top four. We need to sort the defence out massively. I think we've got loads of firepower. Our front five are fantastic. And we need 3 or 4 proper signings to put the money down. But I'd like to see some of the youth brought into the first team squad to blood them as well, because I'm a big fan of, always have been a big fan of the youth coming through United.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Neil. And Joey, what about yourself? What would your ideal summer look like this for United? What business would you be looking to do this window?
So it would start with a Paul Pogba contract extension.
Fantastic, yeah.
It would then go to a Jadon Sancho. Obviously, gets in the right wing. Then it would go Jack Grealish, because I think anytime Bruno Fernandes needed a break, I would look at him. I think he's a player that could come off the bench and play in cups, and I think he's got a bit of that maverick about him that I really like. And then I think a center back was needed. I would use Alexis Sanchez and maybe a Jesse Lingard or a Pereira, and try and get Milan Skriniar from Inter, 24 years old, was one of the best center backs in the world about a season and a half ago. He's kind of struggled in Conte's back three. He would be my ideal center back. And then I would bring back Dean Henderson to compete with De Gea for the number 1 shirt. And for me, that'd be an ideal summer. Obviously, I would like to get a CDM in, but I think with Matic signing a 3-year deal, I would like to see him, Matic kind of groom McTominay or Garner for that role.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. Flawless, coming to you then. I mean, if you had a dream tonight, laying in your bed and you was there, what would that United team look like next season for you?
Joey made a great point. All Pogba extension. That would be top of the list. That's a great point, Joey. That's a fantastic point. In terms of signings, a left back, I'm not sure what left back, but definitely a left back 1000%. A centre back who is quick, pacey, athletic. Koulibaly, Upamecano-esque. Dean Henderson to come back in as the number 1, because I think that he is done at the top level. Holding midfielder, Thomas Partey. A right-sided player, obviously, in Sancho. An attacking midfielder to come and play like a squad player, like a Grealish also. And to get rid of the deadwood we have. So your Rojo. Actually, if we could get rid of De Gea, I'd be happy with that. De Gea, Rojo, Jones, Smalling, Sanchez. Trying to think, is that all the deadwood we've got? Yeah, I think Pereira as well. Pereira, Lingard, I'm not too I want. Yeah, I know you're not a fan of. I've seen you shows previously with about Lingard, but that's a whole other debate. But yeah, definitely Pereira as well, who I forgot about. And yeah, that would probably be my dream. So them 5 signings, obviously Henderson coming back, make 6, and get rid of them players, and a Paul Pogba extension.
Can I just ask one question before we go?
Yeah,
quickly.
As regards the centre-half situation, wouldn't Godin from Inter Milan be a good shout for a season? We've had history in the past of signing players like Blanc, just the more experienced centre-half just to drop in there. I mean, we've been linked with someone like Thiago Silva. I'm not sure about him, but I think Godin from Inter Milan, just to give a bit of experience to that back four. It's very young. That's one I'd like to see.
Sometimes I feel like United have signed players 4 or 5 times over, and Godin's one of those names. I think, play people like Arturo Vidal. We see it just seems to be an ongoing thing. I mean, Wesley Sneijder. Wesley Sneijder has to be the classic. I mean, during the 2000s, I think every season, every window is Wesley Sneijder, and I think that guy's held the show up about 8 times. So I don't know. I just think sometimes things are so. But I do understand your point. He's a fantastic defender. He's probably better than anything we've got at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you on that. But it's funny you say that. We're going to have to wrap up now. But actually, there's going to be another one hitting another one of these shows hitting your screen on Friday. We're actually going to be looking at United's defensive options. What's out there for them, particularly a left-sided centre back. We're going to be looking at the goalkeeping situation and whether we feel that De Gea has to come back or whether Dean Henderson now deserves a chance. We've touched on that a little bit today. We'll go into that in a bit more depth, plus a load of other things and any other stories that are coming out around United. This is your place to talk about all the transfers that involve Man United. So I just want to thank everyone on the show today. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Salute, man. Salute. I enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Cheers, guys. You've helped me through this. The first time I've done something like this, so I appreciate it. You've been great.
You did a good job, man. You did a good job.
Cheers, I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who's watched. Don't forget, get your comments in, give the channel a like, give it a subscribe. You know what to do. Get involved on all the social media platforms. Watch out for some great content on this channel. You know, we've got match day mornings. Ben's taking charge of that. That ran out for the first time on Sunday against Chelsea. That was a fantastic show. You know, he's doing a great job there. He's going to get some great guests on there. We've got match day reaction also with Ben, you know, where we go on live. That wasn't so good on Sunday because of the result, unfortunately. But Usman's doing the breakdown and banter show. I watched that last night. It was brilliant. He had Rodri Giggs on there. Some great guests. So keep watching us, guys, and take care, and we'll speak to you soon.
Salute.